Truck campers have recently become a popular alternative to the van life. With its rise in popularity, many wonder if a truck camper provides the comforts of a home. Well, that's exactly what I'll be diving into with this video. Let me introduce you to my truck camper, the Lance 650. Lance Camper Manufacturing is one of the most well-known brands for truck campers, along with its reputation of quality-built truck campers and travel trailers. The Lance 650 is their smallest and lightest weight truck camper that is able to be put on a half-ton truck. I have a 2021 Lance 650 paired on a 2016 Ford F-150. And the first problem or concern that people may have is weight. How is a half-ton truck able to carry a truck camper? And that's probably the most questioned thing I get asked, and probably the biggest concern that people have when looking to purchase a truck camper. When they released the Lance 650, this was the smallest and lightest weight camper. They even advertised it on a Ford F-150. I did have to do some suspension upgrades. I put heavy duty shocks, leaf springs, airbags, and a sway bar in order to carry this rig. And let me tell you, my Ford F-150 handles it perfect. I have zero complaints. You do feel the weight back there like anything, and you don't get in a rush with it. Leave a little early, take your time getting to wherever you're going, and you'll have no problem. So to start off, let's start on the outside of this camper. Now, the Lance 650 does not have a whole lot of storage by any means, especially on the outside. There's one storage compartment on the outside, and that is this right here. That is it. This compartment holds my power cord, water hose, attachments for electrical, attachments for their generator and all that. You can also access your water lines and everything through here as well, which are just right back in there. This is access to your hot water heater, which is just right there, on and off switch. That is your furnace. This is fresh water tank fill up, and this is your outside shower. And let me tell you, in the summertime when it's hot, it is so nice to shower outside. If you're really nasty, like I go mountain biking a lot, and if I'm just covered in mud or dirt, it's easy to just pop the hose out, hose off, or even take a full-on shower outside. And it is so nice in the summertime. The freshwater connection is right here. This is your black tank flush. To the back of the camper, this is your satellite connection. This is electrical outlets. This is where you access your gray and black water tank when you need to dump. This is your propane. I have some extra ratchet straps in there, and I am about empty on propane. That is a 15-pound propane tank, and you do go through propane pretty quick with this, especially in the wintertime, running the furnace, your stove, hot water. Summertime, I filled it up maybe twice a month. So I didn't use it very much, mostly just to cook. Hardly ever used hot water in the summertime. The sun pretty much warmed up the fresh water tank to where I didn't have to use it. Or it was just hot enough, I took a cold shower, which is pretty nice in the summertime. Now to the passenger side, there's not much over here, I will say. You have two outdoor speakers. You have the big window. This is an awning. This is not the factory awning. I guess I should say I did not buy this camper new. I bought it used. The previous owner replaced the awning that was on it, which was an electric awning. It was damaged and it was an expensive awning. This is actually, I think, in my opinion, an upgrade. The awning is fully encased in this metal casing, which protects it from tree branches. Like I drive down a lot of forest roads. This protects the awning and material from any tree branches or anything. All you have to do to extend the awning is there's an attachment that goes right up in that hole, and I have a drill and I just drill it and it comes out. It's pretty simple, honestly. I mean, can't get much easier than that. I guess you can go inside and push the button, but this is pretty nice, I say. This is also where you can access your fridge and any maintenance or anything on that. You do have a porch light on this side as well. Another feature on the outside of the camper are the electric jacks. These are super nice. You just press a button, all four of them go down. You can level out that way, and it makes it more stable. I do not use them all the time. So for example, my work week, when I have to go to work, I typically just park like I am now, and I don't have the jacks down. I just leave them up, and that way I can just hop in my truck in the morning and take off. Now, if I know I'm staying somewhere longer than one night, I'll put them down. It just makes the camper more stable. When I move around, I don't feel the whole camper moving or things move around inside. So it is nice to use every now and then, especially when I'm staying at locations longer than one night. As far as steps getting into the camper, I use these scissor steps. Pretty easy and simple to use. Just raise them up and push them in just like that. I do know some other campers have like a platform in the back, almost like a deck or a big rear bumper with a step that folds down. There's just not much on the rear end of this camper, so the scissor step system like this is about the only option for this camper. What's nice about the scissor steps is that you have actual steps to get in there. You're not having to like step up real high, or if you're in the middle of the night, you have a large step to get down. Or if you're on uneven terrain, like I camp a lot in national forest. And a lot of the times the terrain is not perfectly flat like it is here. So having the steps that you can adjust and everything is quite nice. The last thing on the outside of the camper is the solar panel. That is a 200-watt solar panel paired with a 100 amp hour lithium ion battery. If it wasn't for that, there's no way I could live full-time out of this rig. During the summer months, I never have to plug in. I recharge every single day, and I have more than enough power and juice than I know what to do with most of the time in the summertime. Wintertime's a little bit different story. The days are shorter, get more cloudy, more precipitation, and I can typically camp off grid for about 3 days. After that, I have to go plug in somewhere. So wintertime, it does not charge to its full potential, but summertime, it is perfect. It is ideal. I wouldn't change anything about it. You could probably put a 100 watt or 50 watt solar panel on top, along with the 200 watt that I have, but you're not getting much more room up on top of this camper. And with the battery, there's not much room to put an extra battery. I have about the largest battery you can squeeze into that little compartment inside. And that leads to the most exciting part of the tour, the inside. Let's go check it out. And welcome to the inside of my house. To start off the inside tour, this is my favorite feature, probably of the entire camper, the dinette. This dinette takes up pretty much this entire side of this camper. I mean, there's the bed, there's the door, and this entire thing is the dinette. This was a huge selling point when I was looking for a camper, and the Lance 650 checked off that box. And I say this is the best part because I can sit here just like this, and I can have my legs stretched out. And someone can still be sitting on the other side of me, or if you have more than just one person in here, you can fit probably 3 people in here on this dinette by itself. Maybe more, depends how tight you want to be, but 2 to 3 people can fit in this dinette pretty easily. I sat in this very dinette for hours at a time editing videos, so I have to be sure that I am comfortable when I do that. And this dinette definitely checked off the box, and that was a huge selling point for the Lance 650. I sat here in this dinette for hours at a time editing videos, and I noticed I was having a hard time staying focused and almost a lack of energy. But that's when I discovered Magic Mind. Magic Mind is an all-natural drink that contains a variety of mushrooms, herbs, and vitamins, all for a specific reason. Magic Mind has 2 different options as far as their drinks. They have a mental health shot and they have a sleep performance shot. The Magic Mind mental performance shot promotes focus, clarity, a sharper mind, less stress, and clean energy. Everything about this is clean and all natural. And no, this is not a coffee replacement. Add this into your normal morning routine just like you would taking your vitamins, but this is for the clarity of your mind. And what I love the most about Magic Mind shots, they come in this nice little bottle. That way you can put it in your pocket or a backpack, and it's easy. Just unscrew it, take the shot, and you're done. Easy, simple, and it tastes delicious. The Magic Mind Sleep Performance Shot is one you take before bed. This just promotes a good night's of sleep and promotes waking up in the morning feeling energized and refreshed. I've used Magic Mind for about 4 days now, and let me tell you, my sleep is solid at night. I wake up feeling refreshed and ready for the day, and when I take that mental performance shot first thing in the morning, I feel less stress, a clarity of mind, and just a clean energy all day. And for the first time ever, The sleep shot and the mental performance shot is now bundled up for a 45% off using only my link in the description below. There's no better time to start than now. Make 2025 the year to build and improve your mental resilience, improve both your sleep and your wake clarity using Magic Mind. Not only is this dinette absolutely large, you have this huge window, which I absolutely love. It is my favorite thing to sit here in the dinette and stare outside all day. This table is not the factory table. This table is one that I had made out of spruce wood. I had cut it to the desired length that I had wanted. I sanded it, put a stain on it, and put a polyurethane coating on top. After 6 months of use, I'd say it's held up pretty darn well. Underneath it, that is the battery compartment. That is just cram-packed full with a battery and pretty much all the electrical wires and everything else. There is kind of a little hidden storage, and that is behind the seat here. That's where I keep just toilet paper, paper towels, pretty much just my back stock of paper towels most of the time. Above the dinette is this overhang storage. Just kind of has this netting stuff. I have blankets, it's a duffel bag, it's a heavy jacket, and I keep all my towels folded up there. Nothing too fancy, nothing crazy, but it is extra storage, and I like to put some of the larger items like blankets and stuff up there. There are 2 overhead cabinets over the dinette. There's this one, which I use this as my pantry. I have my wine in here as well. And there's another one in the back, and this is just like water bottles. I have coffee, food containers, dish towels, kind of just some random stuff. It's not a specific cabinet, but it is organized and I know where everything is and what's in there. There is this nice little like book holder. I have a few books in there. I have my string lights that are strung up here all across the top. That just makes for a nice ambient lighting when it's late or when it's dark and I don't want to have all the lights on. It creates just the perfect amount of lighting. And this is where my little Bigfoot lives. And he's just cute. Now for the bedroom. Let's climb on up into the bed here. So I am a tall guy. I am 6'4", and when I'm in bed, my head hits the roof. Even when I am sitting on the edge, I cannot sit straight up. But there's not many times that I'm sitting on the edge of the bed here trying to sit straight up. If I am sitting on the bed, I am probably leaned up against the fridge right here. And when I'm leaned up against the fridge here, there's plenty of room. You may not be as tall as I am, and you may not ever have an issue. But you may just be asking yourself, why is the fridge in the bedroom? Well, you gotta think, this is in the bed of your pickup truck, and it has everything that you need to live. And where else are you gonna put a fridge in here? I mean, y'all tell me. There's not much space down there at all. I mean, that's it, right there. So, I mean, you could put one here, but you're gonna lose half of your space of the dinette. And then this is your kitchen, and that's all you have. So, I mean, I think it's actually pretty smart of Lance to put the fridge in the bedroom. And it is a small fridge, but it holds just enough food for anything that I need. And you have a little freezer up on top there. And it makes zero noise, so you don't even really notice that it's there. Honestly, kind of like it up here. It's out of the way, it takes up no room, and you don't even notice it. You don't even see it or anything at all. Something to think about with the Lance 650 is if you ever wanted to replace your mattress, you cannot go very thick, or you cannot put a very thick comforter on, because your door will start hitting your comforter or the mattress. Typically I don't have an issue. Since it is winter, I have a few blankets on the bed and this little top cover, which I just flip back when I need to open the fridge. But it is something to think about. Some people may get weirded out that the fridge is in the bedroom. I don't really think it's that weird now that I've lived with it and I've used it. I mean, like I said, where else are you going to put the fridge? Off to the side of the fridge, you have these 3 little cubbies. I have like some athletic shorts, like underwear, socks. Pretty much just some small items that I can quickly grab and access because there's really no like drawers or dressers or anything like that in here. So the little cubbies are nice for like socks, underwear, athletic shorts, stuff that can fold pretty small and you can access pretty quickly, or stuff that you use every day. Next to the cubbies, I have my closet. I typically have pants on top, shirts in the middle, and the bottom is filled with like jackets and cycling apparel and more of the bigger stuff, sweaters, sweatshirts, stuff like that I don't really wear too often. So I kind of alternate my stuff front to back depending on season. So right now I have like my flannels all on the front. I have long sleeve shirts and like a hoodie, sweatshirt down here that I can easily grab. And then if I need a t-shirt, I just take a few clothes out, reach in the back, grab which t-shirt I want to wear. And what's nice too is that these doors remove pretty darn easy. Take that out. Take that out. It kind of opens it up, get a little bit better view of my closet. I did build the shelving in here. This closet originally came with a clothes bar across the top. And let me tell you, in a truck camper that I live full-time in, there is not enough space hanging up your clothes. Hanging clothes takes up so much room. In a camper or just anywhere you live, hanging up clothes takes up so much space. So I had to come up with an alternate solution, and that was to build shelves. I did build these shelves to where they are not attached to anything on the camper itself. So they are not screwed to this wood at all. It is a one-piece frame, essentially, is what I built. So that way, if I needed to take it out, I can just unscrew the shelves on it and take the whole frame out. And this closet is actually really deep. It's a really deep closet, so you can fit a lot in here. Next to the closet is the nightstand. So it's nice, handy, put your water bottle there and everything. You have two little accent lights on top, which is pretty nice at night. This is like my bed table. So when I want to like watch a movie in bed or something, I prop that up, put my laptop on it, and I watch TV. Which gets us to the next part, the TV, which is right here. Let me say it's not the best TV, but it is a TV and it works. And let me be honest with you, I don't really watch a whole lot of TV. And two, in order to use the TV, you have to be plugged into power. If you're not plugged into power, it runs your battery down pretty quick. So I have probably only used it like a handful of times, to be honest with you. Most of the time when I do watch TV or a movie or something, I just pull it up on my laptop and I use that bed table with the laptop on it, and it works just fine. You also do get a little radio here that you can Bluetooth your phone to, or you plug in your phone USB. You have some USB outlets here, 12-volt charger there, like a car style charger. There's a little cubby and compartment right here. That's where I keep like essential oils and all that stuff. You do also have 110 outlets right here as well. And what's nice is that you have a large window, which is pretty cool to wake up in the morning wherever you're camping, roll down your nightshade and wake up to a beautiful setting wherever you're at. Which is something pretty nice about this camper that Lance does, is day-night shade. So this right here, that is a true blackout shade. So you can go outside and you cannot see any light from the inside on the outside with the night shade up. And what else is cool? And for the day shade, roll that down, roll that down, and then you have that. This acts as a bug screen, and it also acts as like a day shade. If the sun's beaming in, you can pull that down and it dims the light just enough to where it's not going to hurt your eyes. And I say it acts as a bug screen. Well, this is why. On this camper, Lance uses an acrylic window. So that means it is not glass, it is essentially plastic or acrylic. So what you do, you just release those, which latches it in, and you open it up. And you can tighten those knobs on the side, like that one. And that's outside, that's open to the outside. And you can pull this down as your bug screen. And in the summertime, living out of this full time, I have the windows open 24/7. And that bug screen is a lifesaver to keep all the bugs out, because they can get pretty gnarly. But that's also something I love about the acrylic windows, is you can open them up fully. They open up wider than this. And you're outside, like, there's a lot of times, especially living in Arizona, that there are no bugs. So having the windows open fully without any screen or anything and just let all the fresh air in, it's quite nice. I think it's pretty cool. The downside to the acrylic windows is that they scratch very easily. So In the daytime, you can see some of the scratches on my windows from just getting a little too close to tree branches or anything like that. And I don't have a lot, but there's a few on there that are kind of large. But it's part of it, you can't get rid of it, and the windows are pretty pricey to replace. The last feature in the bedroom is this vent. This is a max air fan, and this is one that is totally enclosed, so I can crank it up, have the fan on, and if it comes a monsoon or a good rain shower, I can still have this up and running without anything getting wet. It is so nice, and it is by far the best vent fan in this camper. And what's even nicer is since this is right over the bed, when it's a full moon at night, or if I'm wanting to sleep in and the sun rises at like 6 a.m., I have this handy dandy little cover that magnetics right to it to block out any light. And it probably helps out block out the heat and keep some heat in here as well in the wintertime. Just magnetizes all up there, just like that. It's a good insulator, it blocks out all the daylight and the moonlight for a good night's rest. And lastly, with the bed, this is a residential queen size mattress. This is not an RV queen, this is not a full size mattress, this is a actual queen size residential mattress. And downstairs we go. Back to the first level, and now the kitchen. I would say this is probably my most used area of the entire camper. Of course, I do everything here, like cook dinner, breakfast, lunch, snacks. This is where I brush my teeth, this is where I prep food. This is where, it's where all the magic happens. When I first bought the camper, this had a microwave in it. I run off a battery and solar, and there's no way I would ever use a microwave, or I even could use a microwave. And taking the microwave out and using this as a usable cabinet space is a total game changer and added so much more room to this camper. This is where I keep all my spices, pots and pans and mixing bowls and cups, measuring cups. I have an oven in here, cutting boards, and then I have magnetic latches that just keeps it closed and kind of hard to open. So that way when I'm going down bumpy forest roads and the whole truck camper is rocking back and forth, I'm not hearing a crash, bang, and boom with everything falling out. Next to this cabinet, we have the cabinet that actually came with the camper. And this has like salt and pepper, flour, sugar, more of like the baking goods, olive oil. This also has my plates, my cast irons. I have tea in here, I have bowls. And that's the actual cabinet that was already built, fabricated by Lance. I didn't build anything with it. It had a shelf in it already, so it was ready to go. In the kitchen itself, this is a butcher block that I had screwed feet onto in order to cover up the 2-burner stove that's here. That way it increases my workspace here. When the stove is not in use, I can use this space for whatever else I may need it for. The space behind the stove here in the butcher block I use kind of as a placeholder as I travel. I have like my Brita, I have a bottle I need to return back to the dairy here, and my essential oil diffuser, and like a dish drying towel or a dish drying mat. So I kind of use that there. That kind of keeps everything held into place so everything doesn't start falling and going all over the place. When I do need to use the stove, I just kind of set everything off to the side that I'm not going to use, kind of up on the bed area, and just be sure there's no water in the Brita filter or in the essential oil diffuser so it doesn't spill and make a mess on my bed. So when I go to cook, I typically just raise this straight up and lean it up against the back wall here. I do that because it acts as a backsplash. Since this is another window right here, and when I cook, I don't want stuff splattering on this pretty white shade here. And there's already a few splatters of stuff in here, and it's right by the sink, so it does get some splash from the sink and wet, but I use this as a backsplash. This is a 2-burner propane stove. You can probably obviously tell which burner I use the most, which is this one. There's some stain and discoloration going on with that. Your 2 knobs. This does not have a self-ignite, so like a sparker or anything, you have to stick a lighter in there and light it yourself. There is a little bit of discoloration going on here on the countertop. That is from it getting really hot when I cook, and also using the oven that I have. It kind of hangs over and probably gets that pretty hot, which is why it's kind of burned right there. So you heard me say I keep my oven in this cabinet above the stove. Well, that's because the Lance 650 is small enough that it does not come with an oven like a traditional truck camper or RV would. So I had to improvise. I have a Coleman collapsible oven, and this is it right here. It collapses down nice and small, and then I set it right on the stove right there. Gotta make sure it's lined up with the burner underneath. And that's my oven. It works really well. It's been heavily used. But I love to cook. I like to bake. I've got to eat somehow, and I've got to warm stuff up somehow. And the Coleman collapsible oven is, I would say, the best option for this style of stove if you have no other option and no oven in the camper already. And this is the sink. It's not a very large sink, but it does the job. There is this little cubby hole thing here. I like to hang my dish towel on it. I have my chef's knife, and I have my soap there. On this wall, this is all the control panels. This is like your thermostat for the AC or the heat furnace, water heater. This is the control panel to see the level of all your tanks and everything. Speaking of tanks, this has a 22-gallon freshwater tank, I believe a 15-gallon gray water tank. During my work week, I know I can use more water because I have easy access to water. When I'm out camping for 4 days in a row, I can typically last all 4 days with this tank, and I have a little 5-gallon like extra potable water jug that I carry with me. These are the awning controls. When there was an electric awning on this, these just have no use now. They're just there. This is the solar controller right here. It's a 30 amp controller. This tells you your battery level, how many amps you're bringing in from the solar panel, and the life of your battery and temperature of what the controller is running at. Below the sink and the stove, you have 2 drawers. This has all the silverware. This has more of the bigger items like spatulas and all that. And those have the slammable drawers, so you can slam them and they close very easily. This is the furnace. It's where all your heat comes out of. And then this is a little cabinet. It's not much room. It has like some cleaning supplies, trash bags. You can also access your hot water heater in here as well. And then as far as any plumbing needs, you can remove these drawers pretty easily to access all your plumbing for the sink. Now the last room of my truck camper, the bathroom. Yes, this actually has a bathroom in a truck camper on a half-ton truck. How cool is this? I use the bathroom as kind of like storage when I'm not using it. So this is a wet bath. So I have like my towels, shower backpack if I ever do go somewhere with an actual shower and bathroom, like a campground. I keep my dirty clothes, my compostable toilet, kind of like my toiletries, space heater, stuff like that in here. And there's also a nice little medicine cabinet. When I do get ready to take a shower, I'll just take all the stuff out, set it, kind of have a little place for it to where it's out of the way and I'm not going to step on it or trip over it. So this is what it'll look like when I take a shower. It's small, but it's a shower in the camper, and of course my head is just about all the way up into that. So I tend to have to like kind of bend my knees a little bit when I shower. But I mean, you can shower, get all clean, and it works. I shower in it just about every single day. You get used to it. I have hot water, and it has ducted heat in here too. Right there. Look at that. But the shower was smaller when I first bought it. So I said this was a wet bath. So this did have a toilet right here. And so your only foot space was literally this area here that my hand almost takes up the entire space. So that was a toilet. There's the water line for it. I opted to remove the toilet. That way I don't ever have to deal with sewage and dumping a black tank and all that. I just don't ever have to mess with that, and I'm so glad I don't have to. I would like more wiggle room and shower space than a toilet. So that's why I opted for a compostable toilet, one that folds completely flat, and it's just space saving, it's easy to use, and I don't ever have to worry about like dumping a black tank. There's also a light in here, and there's also a vent fan right over here, which I turn on just about every time I shower just to keep the moisture out of the shower so nothing starts molding or mildewing or just creating a sour smell, especially with my towels. I leave it on for about 30 minutes or so and my towels are almost dry. On the outside of the bathroom door, you have this lovely, beautiful mirror that you can just see. You can get ready, be sure you look good before you go out and about in the town. It's pretty nice. Most campers don't have that. And you need a mirror. You gotta be sure you look good. Above the bathroom door is the second vent fan. This one is not as nice and fancy as the one above the bed, but it does the job and it works really good. And this was the original vent fan that was in here, and I did upgrade and replace that one up there not too long ago. Some upgrades I did on this. Obviously I did the solar panel. That was something I added. The lithium ion battery. I did upgrade that vent fan above the bed. This cabinet I upgraded and added. Some other things. All this woodwork here used to be carpet. I don't like carpet. I'm picky, I'm a clean person, and carpet's just kind of nasty to me, especially carpet that I've never lived in or owned. So I removed all the carpet. I replaced it with wood. This is actually the same wood that the table is made out of. I just stained this with a different color and left it kind of just the raw wood look. And that stuff is very easy to clean. I can just sweep it off, spray it with my cleaner, wipe it down, and I'm done. I don't have to worry about vacuuming carpet or if something spills on it or cooking and something splatters and it's smelling. So it's really nice. So I didn't do a whole lot of upgrades, but I did necessary upgrades, what I thought I would use and I would need the most. My personal experience living full-time in a truck camper, I guess to say the least, I absolutely love it. Living solo in the Lance 650, it works for me. I have figured out how to work with it and live out of it. There's been some ups and downs. It's definitely taken an adjustment. I've never lived in anything this small, but to sum it up, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love being able to park anywhere in National Forest and just, that's what I wake up to. But I love just having my home with me everywhere I go. And this is just, I think, the perfect alternative to van life. Which brings me to another pointer. As I've mentioned before, I'm a tall guy. I've looked at vans, I've looked at Sprinter vans and van conversions. I've looked at all that. One, they're really expensive. Two, I'm a tall guy. I can stand fully up in here, even under the AC, and there's that much headroom left. I can stand up here, and there's that much headroom left. I'm 6'4". The interior height of this is 6'8". So there's so much room in here, and the fact that I don't have to disassemble something to go to bed, or disassemble something to cook or eat or anything or shower. It's all here. It's set up and it's here. I don't have to do anything at all to do basic everyday life. Whereas in a van, I can't stand fully up in a van. I've never been in a van that I can fully stand up in that's been converted and has a bed and everything just ready to go. After 6 months of living full time in this, I have not had any real issues with the camper, honestly. Just some basic little maintenance things like taking care of the roof, checking your plumbing, stuff like that. That's just kind of basic stuff. But as far as the structure and camper itself, I have not had any issues with. If you are in the market for a camper, check out some other reviews, see what other people are doing, what they live in, or what they take out on the weekends. I would love to hear your thoughts about my tour of my truck camper and just anything at all, any questions. I'd love to hear them in the comments. I hope y'all enjoyed the tour, and remember, keep it wild.